chapter 18, I'm sorry. In 1 Kings, chapter number 18, verses 17. I'll start at verse 17 and conclude on verse 21. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? In other words, you're responsible for our condition. You see, while we're going through this drought that we're in. And Elijah answered and said, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord, and thou hast followed Balaam. Now therefore, send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the grove 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people, and said, How long halt ye between two opinions? How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. You bow your head. Father God, again, we bless you and we thank you for this time to look into your holy writ and to share the word with this, your people. God, we're living in perilous times. We've got to be accurate, Lord. We just can't just say what we think and what we feel. We need the divine unction of the Holy Ghost so that we as a people can live. I decree life on today. Send a word that will heal us. Send a word that will help us. We leave this house on today and we'll give you praise. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Let the church say amen. Hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Well, I want to say that as we look at our passage of scripture this morning, I want to say that we need to understand in this life that there are challenges everywhere. You cannot go through this world and live in this life without a challenge. Amen. And we need to understand that. We need to understand that in order to be successful, we have to make the right decisions. You're going to have many opportunities to do a number of things, and things are going to come your way, and you've got to make the right choices. You know, it's kind of sad that sometimes when we as parents, we rear our children, but we don't make them take on responsibilities. Right. We don't make them put their shoulder to the wheel, and we do everything for them. And therefore our children grow up with no responsibility. They don't have to worry about no food. They don't have to worry about no clothing. They don't have to worry about no shelter, no place and all that. You know, but then it changes when they have to pay the bills. When they have to make their own way. Yes. You see, they see it differently when they have to pay the rent. When they have to, you know, get transportation, and when their car break down. It's just different. You know, they got to get food, and you know, and sometimes I don't know. Just like I think when Jakes was saying that he's not really blaming this generation, he's blaming the parents. Because we didn't do a good job of parenting. We didn't do a good job of making them get up and do things and doing their chores. And they'll sit there all day and get your positions or keep howling up. They'll walk by them and grab. They don't care about no day. They don't care about cleaning their room.
Come on now, come on.
We haven't taught them that that to discipline themselves, and here we're living in a day now where if they don't get an education, they won't really make it because of technology and because of computer and all of that. If they don't go to college, if they don't get a higher education, they're going to mess up. See, back in my day, and I don't care about dating myself. I'll let y'all know. Back in my day, it was different. It was different because right before the 60s and all of that, before they ended the draft, every man was required to serve our country. Every man, you had to register for the draft. They'd register and they would call you in and you would go to the Army, Navy, or whatever. And so when you grew up as a young man, my growing up, we knew that we had to serve our country. So we had to go to the Air Force, the Army, Marine, somewhere. But when they cut out the draft, then, you know, we just got, you know, boys, you know, 30 and 40 still living with mama. Men that have no sense of responsibility. And that's one thing that happened to us was that the military helped to discipline us. Yeah. Because we had to get up at a certain hour. We had to make sure that they gave you the uniform, but the uniform had to be spotless. Your shoes had to be shined. You had your foot locker and everything had to be in place. And this belonged in and everything. And it taught you to be responsible. It taught you to get up and do the thing. But now, you know, if you don't wake a child up, he'll sleep all day. You know, they don't care about responsibility. They don't care about getting up. If I ain't got no responsibility, they ain't got nothing to do, they're not going to move. They're not going to do anything. But we were taught that. And then the thing, that's why you see so many of our young men are in prison, and they don't mind going to prison. Because when I go to prison, I ain't got to worry about no paying no rent. I ain't got to worry about no place to sleep. I ain't got to worry about eating. No responsibility. And somebody can tell you when to get up, when to go to bed, lights out, you know, and they get out here after they've been incarcerated for a while, they can't function. Right. They can't, because you have to take on responsibility, because you have to be a man, and you have to do all that, and they just won't do that. You see, so we got to understand that one of the keys to life is to make the right choice. Well. Make the right choice. We won't make the right choice, young folk. We won't be trying as parents all that we know to get our children to mature enough to make the right decisions, and yet they'll get with their friends and they'll be influenced by their peers and end up going down the wrong trail. And you wonder, how not my child? You know, many of us will go to bat and we'll say, oh, no, not my child, because in our presence, they're yes ma'am and yes sir, and you think that, but when they get around their friends, oh, come on now, young.